got spare parts from my last broken heart. Somehow more than what I had to start. Yeah, I've got spare parts. I tried to fix it best I remembered it. I hope it runs when I fire it up, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I got spare parts. Took a piece of you, like lovers often do. I'll try to make it good as new, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare parts. What's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network. I am one of your hosts, Blaze Man, and to my right on the screen is none other than Mr. B. What's happening, buddy?
Who, for the sake of this evening, shall be known as D. Grinch.
D. Grinch. D. Grinch.
Getting into the spirit of the season, my friends.
Right.
What a day we have had. Things going on, all kinds of things spinning around the world. Mr. Blazeman, we've had so many world events and even local events, which is turning into a world event. People that are around the world are starting to really zoom focus in on things that are going on, not only over in Israel or over in Syria, the Middle East, or even in Eastern Europe, but they're starting to look at what's going on over here in the Eastern Seaboard.
Right.
Things happening over there with the murder in New York and a fellow who was arrested in, of all things, Altoona, Pennsylvania. What kind of a place out of Altoona, Pennsylvania? I mean, it's like the Cleveland of Pennsylvania, from what I understand. No matter where you go, it's kind of Cleveland. If you ever been to Cleveland, Ohio,
Yes,
I'm told that Cleveland,
I
Ohio was
drove
kind of
through.
like what's that?
I drove through.
I drove through. You didn't make it a point to
No,
stop. Yeah,
no,
okay.
no.
Yeah.
Who wants to go to
Everybody,
Cleveland?
everybody sort of pokes fun about Cleveland,
What the hell do you want to go to
Ohio.
Cleveland for?
To say you were been there and survived getting out, I guess. But Altoona, Pennsylvania is something. Yes. Oh, look at that. We've got Crystal. She says, I love your shirt. That's right. Thank you very much again. Got the shirt on here. Welcome all the way from Houston, Texas. Crystal No Martinez. Yeah.
That is a
I
pretty
just
good
I
shirt.
would not want to go and spend time over in Altoona. Unless of course there was a decent contest going on in a bowling alley or something.
Right. That's it.
But this guy got himself pinched while sitting around eating McDonald's hash browns.
Well, see
Not a
now.
whole meal, mind you, just hash browns. Annie Hartford.
Now, see, that's
Goodness
what I
damn it.
don't. That's what I don't understand, man.
What?
This guy, he's just like. Let me fix this. Sorry, I wasn't catching. There we go. All right, he goes and he shoots this guy, and they bust him at a McDonald's. I mean, did he like really think that he wasn't caught on any cameras and nobody seen him? Or
Apparently, this man is one of these super intelligent types.
yeah,
So, he probably thought in the back of his head or in the back of his mind, somewhere around, whizzing around with all the kukabatsus and gornaks and things that are spinning around inside there,
yeah.
probably thought to himself that he's just too clever for, whatever the FBI, the police department, whatever is out there, let alone a lowly McDonald's employee.
Right.
But he
Well,
happened to get himself into Altoona, where I happen to know they have some of the finest McDonald's employees in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
right. Yeah, they're all top notch there. Yeah, without a doubt. Let's listen to a little bit of what's going on. United Healthcare CEO shooting. Strong person of interest under arrest. That's what their title is. It says strong person of interest.
Well,
Interest.
he's not been convicted of anything. It's just he's a person of interest. They're suspect, however you want to say it. But
Well, they're saying person.
You
The
got something to show us? We'll see it.
news outlets are saying person of interest. Now, cops should be saying he's a suspect, not a person of interest. He's a suspect. Don't leave town.
He was not arrested in Altoona for the crime. He was arrested on other charges.
What they arrest him on?
Number one, for having a weapon, and he apparently
Driving in the middle of the fucking road with a bike or a weapon.
The weapons charge, and also for
Well, because he had a weapon on him.
he had a weapon on him.
They think it was the same
He
pistol,
had false identifications
right?
that were on him.
Yeah.
And I believe they probably tacked in there resisting arrest or something else, or
Yeah.
disturbing the peace.
Yeah,
or,
I'm sure they got
having one too many pine cones in his teeth or something, whatever it is, whatever I come up with.
Right. I'm sure they got a slew of
Whatever
Jesus.
charges. He has been
charges,
ordered
man.
held over. He was denied bail.
Yeah.
They did the arraignment and so forth. And the man said he's going to fight extradition to New York, from what I understand. The man has an attorney. I don't know if he was someone who was appointed to him or something. Now, apparently, this particular subject has a family that is apparently very astute, very well-to-do. So, I mean, that could be a consideration as to why the judge ordered the man held over without bail, because if they truly are people of means, they would be able to take and find
A
somebody
suitable
who's
lawyer.
caring enough
Mhm.
to probably take and spirit them out of the country one way or
Well,
another.
let's take a listen.
This breaking news event, and for the first time, we're seeing the face of
3 p.m. today.
Luigi Mangione in Pennsylvania, arriving at a courthouse as the 26-year-old was taken into custody after an employee at McDonald's saw a face familiar and alerted authorities. I do want to take you out to what we just saw here on Live Now from Fox as this 26-year-old there going inside of this courthouse, taken out of this police vehicle into the courthouse. Of course, we're learning more information about who this person is and what led up to the moment last Wednesday outside of this Midtown Manhattan hotel, the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, 26-year-old man on Monday. They're in custody. As they say, a Pennsylvania McDonald's worker alerted authorities to a customer who resembled the suspected gunman. The suspect, identified as Luigi Mangione, had a gun believed to be the one used in Wednesday's attack on Brian Thompson, as well as writings expressing anger at corporate America. So Mangione was taken into custody around 9:15 a.m. after police received that tip. Mangione was being held in Pennsylvania on gun charges, eventually extradited to New York to face charges in connection with Thompson's death. In addition to a 3-page handwritten document that suggests he harbored, quote, ill will toward corporate America. They said he had a ghost gun, a type of weapon that can be assembled at home and is difficult to trace. So we're learning more about this as police, like I said, arrested the 26-year-old man. A DNA results are pending. Let's go out right now to Fox's Caroline Elliott that joins us there from New York City. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. Plenty of developments on this day where the manhunt started 5 days ago. What are we learning? What are you hearing?
Yeah, Andy Mack, this is a stunning development in this case. It all started earlier today when we're told a McDonald's employee in Pennsylvania noticed him, recognized him from these wanted posters, and then called police. That's when investigators arrested the 26-year-old at a McDonald's in Alatoona, Pennsylvania, which is about 280 miles from where that murder happened in New York City. Now, not only does the 26-year-old fit the suspect's description, but according to police, Mangione was found with a similar gun to the one used in the shooting and several fake IDs. Police also found a document that's been described as a manifesto that showed, quote, ill will towards corporate America.
Also, okay, so ill will towards corporate America. So that means
describes probably about 70% of Americans these days.
Exactly. So what does he do? Oh, I hate corporate America. And I mean, does he go and search for somebody? Oh, put a list of corporate American CEOs. I don't know. And then picks one. What he's saying, he's got ill will towards, corporate, United States, whatever. And you just pick one random guy to go kill?
Unless the man had a list, and this was the beginning of it.
Well, maybe he wasn't too concerned. He goes and he kills somebody in New York and goes back home to Pennsylvania. That's and you said he's a genius?
Is Pennsylvania his home? I don't believe so.
Okay. So you think maybe the next one he was going to whack might be in Pennsylvania?
My suspicion is that this fellow was going to wind up going around, if all that they say is true and all of this stuff. This fellow probably was going to go around looking for corporate executives to hit.
All right.
Now, he didn't decide to do this overnight, obviously. The guy spent 14 days held up in a youth hostel in New York City. He was in a youth hostel for 14 days before this fellow showed up.
And nobody knows why he was there, right? Maybe they'll say it right here.
Why he was there, or whatever else. How did he happen to know that this guy was going to be there? Well, there are a number of reasons why he would probably know if he's following certain news things and whatever else. Maybe corporate news. He gets things, news that comes in through a brokerage or something, whatever. And people say, "Oh yeah, this guy is going to at his healthcare company is going to be a headline speaker at blah blah blah." Okay, fine. Doesn't tell you that the guy's going to be at $7:43 a.m. He's going to be walking, on the sidewalk at this place in New York City. There had to be a lot more pre-planning, and as brilliant as this mind is that's in the head of this fellow who's in custody, I do not believe for a minute that he's the only person involved in this.
So you think there's another person, huh? You think maybe somebody will look like him?
No, I'm not.
To throw off the cops?
All I'm saying is there's too much going on here for one person to have accomplished.
Yeah, I don't know, B.
Where is the information coming from?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, look, we don't know how long he's been planning this for. He was in a youth home or whatever, like you said, for 14 days. And I mean, is he writing a list down while he's at the youth home? I mean,
it is very clear to me that this is something that has been going on for months, perhaps years.
Right. Well, if anybody else has anything that they want to add, give us a call at 508-974-4231. Again, that number is 508-974-4231. Give us a call if you want to weigh in on this conversation. Let's finish this video.
Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID, matching the ID our suspect used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset.
Police sources tell Fox investigators are now comparing Luigi Mangione's DNA to the DNA found at the crime scene, including fingerprints from the suspect's burner phone and saliva on a drink thrown away at a local Starbucks right before the shooting. Now, this afternoon, a United Healthcare spokesperson says that today's arrest has given some relief to the CEO's family, friends, and colleagues. Andy Mack.
All right, thank you so much for this, Caroline Elliott. Very interesting, but a conclusion, or hopefully a conclusion that police believe they found the man that killed, fatally shot Brian Thompson. We appreciate your time here on Live Now.
Now, there's something that I would really like to know, and that is, okay, they say they have something from saliva at came out of a garbage barrel on a container that he drank from, or something like that, out of a garbage barrel. Does saliva on a drink cup in a garbage barrel at a Starbucks mean that the man is automatically mean the man is guilty of murder? What's relevant about it? Okay, well, they can say, yeah, okay. So what if this guy was in that Starbucks, as were how many other 1,000 people in and out of that Starbucks in the last day?
Right. Well, the bottom line here is they got all of that stuff. I mean, if the DNA matches him, he's done for. That's it.
DNA from a cup in a Starbucks could have absolutely nothing to do. I love how the media is. They're already turning around and creating the hysteria that, okay, this guy's guilty, next case. They're already doing it, and I think that it is wrong. Okay, They have this, they have that, they have that, they have that, they have that. Okay, fine, great.
Right.
Now, something else also that goes to my suspicion that if this is indeed the fellow who's responsible for having done the murder, that it must have been going on for months, perhaps years.
Why do you say years?
I don't know
I don't think
if
this
you,
guy's out there for
if
years.
how experienced you are with technical things. I have very little experience, but one thing I do know is these 3D printers. You don't like press print and then 2 minutes later you've got
Yeah, you
whatever
got
in
a
your hand.
gun. Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, you got to know what
there
you're
are
doing.
so many parts and intricacies and so forth that have to go into something of this nature, and
Right.
to make something like a gun that when something is fired, there's tremendous amount of pressure and blast and heat and so forth. So that plastic or whatever material it is that the 3D printer prints it out of must have been something made incredibly dense in order for it to hold up to the profound amount of pressure that's built up, to say nothing of the fact that this weapon is said to have had
I don't make them
a
out of metal,
silencer on
B.
it, which increases the back pressure. The thing made out of certain things could have blown all to hell, could have blown apart. But no, if this all of this stuff was made out of something from a 3D printer, it had to be made incredibly dense in order for it to be able to survive an internal explosion like a round of ammunition going off. So this stuff takes a long time to do.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe during the break, I'll look for a video on ghost gun printing, so everybody get an idea on how this stuff works. And Ann says maybe he was on camera at the
He
Starbucks.
was on
He was.
camera at the Starbucks, but that doesn't mean him being in the Starbucks doesn't mean that he killed a person. Okay, he was in a Starbucks. So what?
Yeah, but B, he was at the Starbucks at the. They're doing a timeline here.
I understand that. I
You know,
understand that. But
so that's why they're. I mean, look, B. He drinks whatever. His saliva's on a cup. He throws it in a barrel, right? I
so
mean,
what?
B. Yeah. Regardless, I'm sure there's other people that throw the cups in there too, B. But only one person's gonna get fucking stamped on the DNA. You know what I mean? And if they grab the wrong cup, then obviously it's going to be the wrong DNA, right? I mean, you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean that really doesn't mean jack. You know?
I know a fellow who used to run marathons in Boston. Does that mean because he ran a marathon and he drank water out of a bottle, threw it aside, or threw it in a barrel, whatever else? Does that mean that he's one of the Boston
Bombers?
marathon bombers? Of course not.
Why not? Why not? If they got
Because he
him
wasn't running that day.
and he or she is a person of interest, B, they're gonna look in them barrels, B. They're going to try to find any evidence as possible.
My point is that the media is making so much. They're turning things into red herrings. They're making so much hysteria about this thing. They're going to make it almost impossible for this person to get a fair trial from an impartial jury.
Now, what do we got here? All right. We got, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for more The Way We See It right here with yours truly, Blaze Man, and my boy B. We'll be right back. And when we come back, we're going to show you the lawyer for Luigi Mangoni calls extradition reports false after hearing for CEO shooting suspect. And we'll be right back with more of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network. Ann's gonna kill me. I didn't change the song. Everybody hates it now.
I've got spare parts from my last broken heart. Somehow more than what I had to start. Yeah, I've got spare parts. I tried to fix it best I remembered it. I hope it runs when I fire it up, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I got spare parts. Took a piece of you, like lovers often do. I'll try to make it good as new, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare parts. What's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we're back. Thanks for sticking around for more The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
one of your hosts, Blaze Man. Alongside of me to my right is my boy, my man, I thought he saw a putty cat. My man B, everybody.
Howdy, everybody. Well, I'm glad to be back. And again, welcome to our friends who will put some things up over there. And our friend Aunt Rita. Aunt Rita, how are you doing? Good to see you. Along with Crystal Martinez. Very good to see everybody. Thank you so much for coming in. Hope you're enjoying the show.
It's only going to get better, B.
Now we've
All right,
got,
ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, B.
Please go ahead. Refresh my memory. What are we going to be watching now? Video about?
I get it. Let me do that. I'm sorry, folks, for the noise.
Don't break this one.
Okay, so like we promised after the break, lawyer for Luigi calls extradition reports false after hearing for CEO shooting. Now, B, you had mentioned that he was going to fight extradition.
That is what I understand. They may have changed their mind, but go ahead.
Well, we'll see, because this is his lawyer. So This is his lawyer, so let's just take a quick look here. I had it up, but then I took it down. All right, let's take a listen, B. It'll come up, ladies and gentlemen. The video was put up.
He's being treated fairly in custody?
I never got into that, and I won't get into that.
There was a request that you made, though, about informing the corrections department about something, and I didn't understand what you were asking. You were saying,
I don't really. Oh no, I think all I asked was the sheriffs to keep my client around for a little bit so I could talk to him.
And what did you discuss?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that. You're
Your
kidding,
client-
right? You've been on this.
Sir, your client said something to reporters as he was walking.
So you think this guy right here, B, is a fucking public defender? Oh, you said the family was well-to-do. So, I mean, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I might keep popping out of camera. There we go. You said that his family was well-to-do, and do you think this is a public defender, or they got that lawyer over there?
Oh, I feel reasonably certain that this attorney was probably engaged by family members.
Yeah, all right. Let's take a listen. Come on, everybody. Give us a call, 508-974-4231. Phone lines are up and running. I know some of you have opinions on this, so give us a call. Whoa. What's up with that? Let's take a listen.
American people. Do you have any comment on that?
I have to take a look at that. No, I don't have any comment on that. I just know that, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on something I haven't seen or heard.
Any comment on the outpouring of support there's been for him online?
What?
No, I mean, people are entitled to their opinion, and like I said, if you're an American, you believe in the American criminal justice system, you have to presume him to be innocent, and none of us would want anything other than that or us in those shoes. And so I'm glad he has some support.
You just said a moment ago that that's what lawyers do when telling their clients to be quiet. What
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, no, I mean, because I'm going to do all the talking. You know, it's you have the right to remain silent, and I believe in that right.
All right. And you are Thomas, Thomas?
Thomas, yes, middle initial MDICKUR.
You still plan to hold a press conference later today?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm sorry.
What's on the project?
You know what? I haven't received anything. I got paperwork, and I want to meet with the district attorney, and we'll have hearings. We'll be able to see all that, but I haven't seen anything.
Are you, as a human being, aware of what happened in New York over the last week? Were you aware of this before you were retained?
I mean, I don't have a whole lot of time to follow the news. I, of course, knew of it, but I don't follow a lot of things sometimes in the news because sometimes the press gets things wrong. Like I said, I was very irritated, getting some backlash already that some news agency had indicated we waived the we waived the extradition, and that's what irritates lawyers like me is if you're going to print it, get it right.
Do you find it surreal that you're now representing the guy they've been looking for?
Yeah, I don't know. No.
Is this the biggest case you've ever been on?
Yeah, they're all big. All my clients, whether it's a speeding.
I mean, they're talking to him like he's a public offender, B. You're not gonna ask some big time attorney these kind
Where are they? They're in Altoona, freaking Pennsylvania. The biggest thing that happens to them is a number 2
B, I understand that, right? But when you explain to the audience and me, because you're also speaking to me, okay, I don't know what the fuck Atoll, Pennsylvania is, B. What's the population there? I mean, you're talking like it's a hick town. I don't understand.
You're lucky we're not hearing banjos.
All right. You got to tell the fucking audience because I'm confused too. I'm like, well, what's so bad about this town? All right. Exactly. Ding, 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 ding. I get you.
Okay.
Let's listen to more. I'm sure everybody else gets you with that one.
Ticket or whether it's a death penalty case, which I am qualified to do death penalty case in Pennsylvania, so they're all big. All my clients are equally important.
Can you just explain to regular folks what's going to happen, the timeline from that?
Yeah, like I said, probably something maybe in about the next month. You know, like I said, there's the judge set some motions, some deadlines, and they're going to have to come up with some things. We're going to have to come up with some things, and we're going to move forward with that. So, just kind of pay attention to that. And
Right. It seemed like on the bench you guys were sharing a little laugh. Like, have you formed a little friendship with him?
Sharing on the bench? What do you mean on the bench?
Like when you were sitting up there at the table, you were kind of have you formed a little friendship with him?
Yeah, I mean he's my client, and I want him to have trust and faith in me, and I have trust and faith in him, and yeah, I mean we're human beings, and we have a relationship.
Is he going to have a trust in the system?
Is he going to have a trust in the system?
Well, I'm trying to, that's why I talk about presumption of innocence, things like that. I'm hoping to instill that trust in the system with it. Again, I can't comment any further on that.
Do you have any concern about his health, mental health? Do you have to reach out to explore?
Yeah.
That's what the problem is with this country. You know what I mean? Let me rephrase that. Whoa, is everybody there? Hello?
Yep,
Test,
we're here.
1, 2. Well, I just got electrocuted, bro.
Maybe he'll smarten you up. Oh, shit.
Fucking B. I mean, B busts my balls, ladies and gentlemen, because I got slight dyslexia, which you didn't know about. And it's when I go to spell something or do something, I miss a word. I ask him to spell a word. So
Not a problem.
that's why he said, "You be smart now." All right. So with that being said, all right. So it's a guessing game, right? Is this guy a public defender or not a public defender? That's the problem that I have. I mean, we do it sometimes too. You know,
What's that?
Public opinion. You know, if they were to have a poll right now on this guy, and he hasn't even been in, he was arraigned today, right?
Correct. On the charges in Pennsylvania.
Okay, but you also said that he didn't get arrested for the murder.
No, he was not. He was in Pennsylvania. He was not arrested for the murder in Pennsylvania because the murder didn't happen in Pennsylvania. He was arrested in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. So when they arrested him
coming
in
from the gun
Pennsylvania,
and from the phony IDs.
so when they arrested him in Pennsylvania, they didn't say, "Oh, fucking Luigi, Mangoni, yeah, you're under arrest for the murder of so and so in New York City." So you're saying they didn't say that to him?
I don't believe they did.
So where did his Miranda rights come in? Once they got him to New York, then they didn't. He's
no matter what
he's
you're
not
arrested
even in New
for,
York.
you are offered Miranda rights.
Yeah, but he's not even New York yet, right? So
Right.
He's in this court for what?
Well, he had his arraignment, and I guess they were going to try to
What was the
get him
charge?
extradited, and he's going to fight the extradition.
He just said no. He said, "Stop saying that." They didn't waive extradition.
That's right. I said they're going to fight extradition. They didn't waive it. They're going to fight it. If you waive extradition, it means you can go ahead and just send me off to. You can go ahead and send me off.
What purpose
to New
would
York.
What purpose would that solve? What purpose would that solve?
If you waive extradition, say just come on, let's get this over with. I'm guilty. Put me behind bars.
No, again, the only way he's fighting extradition is, I believe, is because he doesn't want to be tried in New York for the murder. That's why he doesn't want you to do extradition. He'd rather have the trial here in ding 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 ding.
Well, they're not going to have the trial for it there.
No.
Unless they wind up charging him federally, which I don't know if they can do because they would have to.
Federally on what? All right, here we go. Robin Lynch says, hold on. Luigi is fighting extradition and was denied bail, but there will be a governor's warrant between PA and New York to get him to New York City. Thanks, Robin. Appreciate that. So, what do you think about that, B? Go ahead, tell Robin.
That's news that I haven't heard before. Thank you very much, Robin.
We're supposed to be the news channel.
Welcome.
B.
Glad to have you.
We're supposed to be
508-974-4231. Call us. Let us know what you got. Having a gun and false ID is what he was arrested for and charged with in Pennsylvania, please.
Thank you, Ann. Still waiting for you to join the show. B needs help sometimes. All right, let's listen to some more, ladies and gentlemen.
I won't comment on that. That doesn't mean I do or I don't, but I just...
Thank you, sir.
Great, thank you.
You're very welcome, folks. Thank you. Nothing, just an attorney-client relationship. You know what I mean? And that's what we do. We try to form a bond.
Your name again, one more time, sir?
Thomas, Thomas, middle initial M as in Mark, Dickey, Dickey.
And were you retained by them, or?
I'm not court appointed. I was retained. That's all.
Okay, you're not court appointed.
My main office is in now too.
And you have anything that you can share about your conversations with him, or state of mind, or?
You know, look this guy up, me, so we can.
Thank you, sir.
Pardon me? I didn't give a statement. I answer questions, and I can't remember everyone.
Can you just, for those of us who couldn't go in there, sir, what happened today?
Well, what happened today is he could have. There was a extradition proceeding. We did not. NOT, add that on there, okay? Because if you're reporting that earlier that did not happen. We did not waive extradition. We were contesting extradition. We were going to fight this along the rules and with the constitutional protections that my client has, and that's what we're going to do.
How's his family doing?
I'm not going to comment.
Did you say why he didn't want to waive extradition, or?
No, that's an attorney-client communication, and
who retained? All right, so now we got that right. Thanks to Robin again. So, he was arrested. He was denied bail. Okay, but again, they arrested him for having the gun in Pennsylvania
for the weapons charge and for the phony IDs.
Right. But their sole purpose was to find him because he is the suspect.
Well, the man is.
But they're not calling him a suspect. They're calling him a person of interest
or whatever.
Yeah, well, but those are two big different words, B. You know?
Semantics at this stage of the game. The man is in custody.
I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out, so, I mean, this isn't the 1930s and the 1940s where you cross state line, you know what I mean? They no longer can pursue you or whatever. It's like going to another country or whatever, back then. What's the difference now?
This is the thing. He's not a suspect as far as Pennsylvania is concerned. He didn't commit that crime in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I know that, B, but you know damn well that's what they went and arrested him for. You know what I mean?
No. What they arrested him for was for having a gun and for having illegal or having phony IDs.
Right. All right. So I know you wasn't there, obviously, but I can't see Pennsylvania police, state police. I'm pretty sure it was state police, maybe the local town sheriff. You know what I mean? And go in there and say, Mr. Mangoni, yeah, you're under arrest for. Or do they go in there, Mr. Mangoni, yes. Or can we search you to see if you got a gun and shit on you?
I think kind of
they
what
went
happened
in
was
there and said, Mr. Mangoni, yes, you're under arrest. Okay, or you are a person of interest in a murder, okay, in New York City.
Well, I'm sure it was a question of, okay, there is this gun that you have here. Do you have a Pennsylvania license that allows you to have this gun?
B. It didn't go down like that at all.
How do you know that?
Because it didn't, B. We're trying to be realistic, man. There's no way in hell, okay? They were called there because the person said, hey, I'm pretty absolutely sure that this is the fucking dude that shot that dude, blah, 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 blah. Boom, cops everywhere. I'm pretty sure they surrounded the area.
Well, actually, I saw an interview earlier today in the news. There were two officers. One was a rookie being trained.
What news?
That were dispatched out to the McDonald's. So they went out to the McDonald's. Two police officers, one cruiser.
Yeah.
Went into the McDonald's and spoke with the employee who told them that, and they walked up to him, and quite frankly, the rookie officer immediately recognized him as being the person that was being sought for the incident in New York. But I'm sure they followed their procedures.
I see.
With the fellow.
Now I can.
Things
I
didn't
can
go too well in their conversation.
I'm
apparently.
sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this stupid thing off. Look, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I'm just saying, B. That's what went down. Somebody calls them, and they go, "Okay, we're just going to show up to the Starbucks." Right? Because, and they could say, "Oh, excuse me, sir. Someone said that, we're carrying a gun or whatever. Is it okay if we search you?" Right? And then once they go all ahead with that process, then they say to them, "Oh, by the way, you're a person of interest in a New York slaying of a CEO healthcare worker." Right? I mean, I'm not interrupting you being rude to our audience while you're again looking down on your phone.
Well, I'm trying to find for you the question that you had asked before. The answer is 42,788 people in Altoona, Pennsylvania, as of the 2023 census.
Right. Okay. So here's a quick video of the suspect arriving. All right. Luigi Mangoni arrives for extradition hearing. Okay.
Right.
So here we go.
Turn it up good and loud.
B, whatever you do, don't talk while it's super loud. So, what was that all about?
Yeah.
It's an injustice to the American people. I mean, we gotta stay on this because there's, I mean.
Did you get that? We'll go watch the tape. He just went in and he yelled.
All right, this is just random people leaving the courthouse after they go. I mean, come on, B. You got to explain or try to, or your idea on what you think, why he said what he said.
Well, he's either actually very crazy or he's putting on a good act, trying to give the appearance that the person is probably outside of his mental faculties and unable to contribute to his own defense due to mental defect.
Let's listen to what he said again. Let's everybody try and pay attention. Don't talk, B, because I'm going to crank this thing up.
Right ahead.
Oh.
We're waiting.
Well, can I get my hearing back? I want to make sure there's no blood coming through my ears.
Okay. An insult to the intelligence of the American people.
Clearly out of touch.
No. It's clearly unjust and an insult to the intelligence of the American people.
Okay. See, it's why we got you around, B. Make sure you get stuff like this out right. So, man, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick 3.5 minute break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Syria and what's going on there. Supposedly, Syria's had a kidnapped an American over in Syria for how long, B?
I think 11 years.
11 years. Why is he automatically a factor, B? We'll get back to that one. Why automatically is he a factor now?
Well,
all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, a little bit about Syria, and stick around for more of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network. I am one of your hosts, Blaze Man. Alongside me to my right is my bro, Mr. B. We'll be right back.
Well, I've got spare parts from my last broken heart. Somehow more than what I had to start. Yeah, I've got spare parts. I tried to fix it best I remembered it. I hope it runs when I fire it up, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I got spare parts. Took a piece of you, like lovers often do. I'll try to make it good as new, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare parts. What's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
back,
boys.
ladies and gentlemen, for another stint on our episode here of The Way We See It. Mr. Blazeman's working hard as he can, trying to get us all the information, get things all lined up and put together. And boy, what we got going on over here now, Mr. Blazeman?
Well, as promised, when we come back from break, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in Syria, because Syria, the Middle East is starting to get so fucking unstable. People don't understand. I mean, even President Trump elect, okay, might have a hard time stopping something like this. It's getting out of hand. Russia media, Bashar al-Assad is in Moscow, okay? Assad was given asylum in Moscow, says Russian state media. So, he fled to Russia. I mean, what purpose is he going to serve Putin? And how long do you think Putin's going to tolerate him for?
If he's able to get back into his country, Putin, of course, they're going to have an alliance. And what's this thing? Syria's a key to an awful lot of oil, my friend.
That's always comes down to oil, don't it? And
why do you think he's after the Ukraine?
But that serves Russia. How? Assad's fucking out. Well, he can't give him oil
if he's able to get back in.
He ain't gonna get back in. So all right. So
there have been a number of instances over the years where people get deposed, and then they wind up going back and once again.
Not in this situation, though.
Hey, Putin is as Putin does.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen.
Let me take you back to the live pictures from the Syrian capital, Damascus. It is,
and just for the record, I mean, everyone who's listening, you could do it, but most of the time, and I want to say about a good 70%, I think you would agree with that, B, is we always, when it comes to anything outside the United States, I always try to turn to the BBC because, they got no dog in this fight. You know what I mean? They're just reporting how stupid Americans are and all of that shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, BBC
is a
news agency.
Yeah.
It's early afternoon there, and we have seen throughout the last couple of hours small crowds gathering in the centre of the capital, appearing to celebrate Assad's ousting. They've been chanting, raising their fists. We've also seen them taking pictures because, of course, a lot of Syrians fled during the Assad regime to neighbouring countries, and a lot of people that have re-entered may well be sending those pictures back to their relatives and others in those other countries. We've seen long queues at the border, particularly in the border between Syria and Lebanon. Right here you can see those live pictures of the cars and vehicles queuing up, trying to get back in to Syria after they fled during the Assad regime. Let us bring in our security correspondent, Frank.
1335 would be 1:30.
Has got so much expertise in this area. And I suppose, Frank, the big question and the hard question is, what happens next?
There's going to be a really difficult balancing act for the leader of HTS. This is somebody who, up until now, has gone by the nom de guerre of Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani, but he wants to revert to his real name, which is Ahmed al-Shara, because he's trying to ditch his jihadist links. Well, he has ditched them largely, but he certainly wants to distance himself from that. The difficult balancing act is this. On the one hand,
Okay, so this is the guy that's replacing him?
Yeah, he is.
Do we know anything about him?
The next figurehead in waiting, so to speak. However, according to records that I have, the United States shows this man as being listed as a terrorist. However, he has disavowed the Al-Qaeda, however you say it, ties that he has had. And largely the people that are in Syria don't want anything to do with the Al-Qaeda,
Al-Qaeda, just
whatever the hell it
Al-Qaeda.
is.
Yeah, Al-Qaeda.
They want nothing to do with that. and they believe that this man will be able to bring them to a country more in alignment with the other Arab countries that are not acting as terrorists, like Saudi Arabia.
Oh, you mean
They
the
do
country
not
that
want anything to do with Iran.
the country that had all the guys in the airplanes take down the World Trade Centers? Yeah, okay. I don't trust Saudi Arabia's fucking, I don't trust Saudi Arabia for nothing. Okay, for
All
nothing.
right, how about Qatar or the United Arab Emirates?
None of them, B. None of them.
I understand that, but
Okay,
they are.
So you're saying that this guy right here, the one that wants to replace Assad, used to be in Al Qaeda?
It used to be aligned apparently with Al Qaeda or Qaeda.
In what form? In what form? In line with them? How did he fucking blow up some buildings for him? What?
That I don't know. I don't believe he blew up buildings. I believe he was part of their organization. However,
even if he was talked to them for a couple of weeks, this guy should be nowhere near running the country.
Well, you know what the option is if he steps aside and his former cohorts do step in place and start taking over the country.
But that's what I'm talking about, B. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This guy should nowhere be around it unless the CIA had a little bit of a hand in here, and maybe this guy is trustable by the CIA. You know what I mean? I don't know, B. But
better one tyrant 10,000 miles away than 10,000 tyrants 1 mile away. I believe that's how the Syrians are looking at things right now.
Yeah, okay. Just like we say it here in the United States. Oh, the tour of lesser evils. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, keep fucking thinking about that. We ain't going to be a country for long. Let's finish.
He needs to establish enough of a rule of law and enough discipline that there isn't more looting, dismantling of government infrastructure in the way that Iraq got ransacked after the 2003 US-led invasion. And he also needs to make sure that there isn't a bloodletting in some of the remoter parts of the country, people settling scores, which could simply reignite a civil war. Because remember that Syria is a patchwork of a lot of different ethnicities and religions. You've got the Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims, Christians, Kurds, Alawites, and so on. And he's got to somehow balance all of these, at the same time being democratic enough that he makes his this country internationally acceptable. So far, I have to say the signs are very good. He's saying the right things.
The BBC isn't sitting here saying, "Oh, fucking terrorist," "Ooh, Al Qaeda," "Ooh." I haven't heard them say shit. Now they're telling us he leans towards the Democratic side because.
He's trying to.
News to me that I found out is that Syria, they have Republicans and they have Democrats. You know what I mean? Literally Democrats and Republicans. So I don't know, B, you fuck me up, man. You throw these things by me like this guy's was an association with bad people. Huh?
Play the video.
Play the video.
But let's not forget that, and I'm not saying that the two are in any way the same, but let's not forget that in 2021, when the Taliban took over Afghanistan and the West fled, they gave all sorts of promises about an inclusive government, and of course it wasn't, and it's turned into an open prison for women. But I think Syria has a brighter future than Afghanistan does.
And I suppose the nightmare is that it goes the way, say, for example, after Libya in the fall of Colonel Gaddafi, where we've seen endless civil war there.
Every time I see pictures in the Arab world, and I mean, I certainly don't count myself as an expert, but I've lived a lot of my adult life in the Arab world. And every time I see pictures of celebrating crowds, pulling down statues of former dictators, you think, yeah, but what follows? Because where you've got countries that have been very tightly controlled with a brutally repressive security service, countries like Libya, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, then it's incredibly difficult to keep a lid on that. And often it just spirals out of control. As you rightly say, there was a relatively limited Western intervention in Libya. It was from the air, but it was enough to help topple Gaddafi. And he had held that country so tightly that it disintegrated into competing factions. And it's still that way today. You've got two different power centers, essentially. And Iraq, of course, the invasion was followed by years of chaos and terrorism and kidnapping. And it was a disaster. And Iraqis who didn't enjoy living under Saddam Hussein said, oh my God, life was better under him. At least we were safe. So this is going to be a real challenge now. And I think, let's not forget the risk of Al-Qaeda and ISIS trying to take advantage of any kind of confusion and chaos. Up in the north of Syria, you've got a complicated situation here because Turkey doesn't like the Kurdish groups, and every now and then it bombs them. Those Kurdish groups, the SDF, the Syrian Democratic Forces, are guarding ISIS prison camps that contain tens of thousands of really very dangerous, hardened jihadists. If safety breaks down there and the Kurds have to flee to defend themselves, then they will break out of those prisons and ISIS will be resurgent, not just in the Middle East, but across Europe. And that's a situation that the US is determined to try and stop happening.
You mentioned the US, you mentioned Turkey. How important are the international community going to be about events that come about in Syria now?
Well, Syria is not the West's problem in the way that Iraq and Afghanistan were, because the West intervened in those two countries disastrously, as it turned out. But in the case of Syria, it's been Russia, Iran, and Hezbollah that intervened to prop up the brutal regime of Bashar al-Assad, and Turkey that has supported the rebels. So they're going to be, certainly Turkey is going to, and Iran to some extent, but Turkey is going to be instrumental in trying to calm the situation. And I think there's going to be quite a lot of US pressure on Turkey not to bully the Kurds so much that they lose control over those camps that I've mentioned. But international support is going to be really important. I think one of the key things here is how quickly the terrorism nomenclature can be dropped from HTS, which is the main rebel group, that's Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, because it split from Al-Qaeda back in 2016. There's no question it was linked to Al-Qaeda, and it was even linked to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who was the founder of ISIS, of so-called Islamic State, a man who died in airstrikes. But they have gone to great lengths to distance themselves from that. And I think if they can prove that they are going to oversee a transition to a genuinely inclusive government that is broadly democratic, this will be a new dawn for Syria. And this is what everybody's hoping for. But there's all sorts of pitfalls along the way. And there are some hardcore, excuse me, there are some hardcore, very intolerant people within the ranks of the rebel groups. Remember that they have been bottled up in Idlib in the northwest of Syria.
So there you had it, right? That's what's going on over there now.
Yeah.
I mean, B, I kind of get like a little nervous when things start getting a little mental over there and across the.
Understandably, of course. Our own president-elect, Donald J. Trump, has said we should stay out of this. This is not our fight.
Nope.
Probably the best thing that we could do is to stay out of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only time we're going to intervene if two of them countries get together and say, okay, if we take this much oil against the United States, then we'll be, oh, no, we can't have that. Wouldn't you say? Right?
If Syria wants to blaze away into a truly a democratic society, then of course we'll be more than happy, I'm sure, to offer input and so forth, and recognize them as a legitimate government.
Right. All right. So we'll keep an eye on Syria. We're definitely going to keep an eye on the CEO murder. But in the entertainment world, ladies and gentlemen, we reported here on the way we see it, and I believe we reported a little bit on it on Politicking with Mr. B, as far as Sean P. Diddy Combs and him being a rapist and trafficking and just from news reports, ladies and gentlemen, just from news reports. I mean, this guy, Sean P. Diddy Combs isn't a very good guy. Now you have one of the richest moguls as far as the music industry goes, and Jay-Z. Beyonce, I'm sure everybody knows Beyonce. That's her husband, JC. And I mean, the guy's worth like a couple of $1 billion. Anyways, he is being implicated in this. The woman that said Sean P. Diddy Combs slipped or something or whatever at a party, it started off with just him. And then it ended up, she said that Jay-Z and P. Diddy, they offered her a drink and she started to feel a little woozy, and then before she knew it, they were having her doing things. Now Jay-Z is just flipping out. I mean, he is like spending some money on TV and shit. Does everybody remember what Michael Jackson did? He fucking spent a shit ton of money on primetime airtime on the media to say he was an innocent man. Jay-Z hasn't gone that far yet, but he sends out a terrible error. Jay-Z issues scatting response to sexual assault allegations. Let's take a listen, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, did you hear about this? Rapper and music mogul Jay-Z is now being accused of raping a 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs during an MTV VMA after party in the year 2000. The rapper issued a blistering statement in response and directed his comments at attorney Tony Busby, who filed the suit, saying, quote, "You've made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. I look forward to showing you just how different I am." Criminal defense attorney Lexi Rigdon joins me now. Lexi, good morning to you. What a development here. So another thing Jay-Z said in his statement is that this was a civil suit filed against him. And he said these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, essentially saying, if I really did these things, treat me the way I should be treated. So how should we be thinking about all of this? What do you think?
Well, that's some denial from him. And, sometimes celebrities have pretty muted denials, like, I'm not going to comment now, or I.
Okay. I can already see it now. Okay. Because if we listen to this on Fox and then we go and listen to it on CNN, it's going to be totally different stories. The only thing I don't like about what Fox is about to do is, again, guilty before even going to court. You know what I mean? Just by the set a few words that she just uttered out of her mouth. You know what I mean? Just because he is a Black American, you know what I mean, doesn't necessarily mean that he did these things. What if he truly is doing what he said he was doing? He did everything he could to fight his way out of the project. And he's, a loving family man. And this is all the things, the type of person that he is. And yet, who knows? Because again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been out for a while now. P. Diddy's already been denied 3 times for bail. This has to do with the skin color. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. Because he's definitely got the money.
No, I think
Listen,
you're wrong.
he's definitely got the money.
I believe this doesn't have with his skin color. I think this has to do with the color of money.
No, if it had something to do with the color of money, they would have said, "Oh, $5 million bail."
No. The alleged victim.
Yes, but that's what I'm trying to get at, B. And again, this has been out for a while. Like I said, all that stuff like that. They denied P. Diddy his bail already 3 times. And this has only been going on for a day now. I think it all happened like Monday or something. Okay. And now all of a sudden, oh, she remembers fucking Jay-Z being there while they, doing the bad things to this poor girl. It doesn't matter really who did what. The victim is this poor girl. At the time was 13 years old. And this supposedly happened in 2000, I think, something to that effect. So she was 13 then, 2005. So she's like in her 50s now. You know what I mean?
If she was 13 years old in 2000, and
Yeah.
this is 2024.
Yeah.
What's 24 plus 13?
Oh, geez, I don't want a math fucking test, B.
37. Okay.
I said she's about 50.
Yeah, that's not that 37 is not about 50.
Well, why not? About 50. So, again, getting to this person, and now all of a sudden, she's accusing Jay-Z. Let's listen a little bit more
from him. And, sometimes celebrities have pretty muted denials, like, I'm not going to comment now, or I direct all questions.
What do you think?
Well, that's some denial from him. And, sometimes celebrities have pretty muted denials, like, I'm not going to comment now, or I direct all questions to my lawyers. I actually admire the strength of the denial. I think that at this point, there's no objective indicia of reliability to this complaint. Now, obviously, things are going to play out and we're going to end up learning more. But
but the bottom line here, right, and just in this news report alone, like, I bet you he's lost tons of fucking endorsements. His money trail's gone down. You know what I mean? He's seeing some money being hit in his companies and things to that nature. I'm pretty sure of it. Now, if he truly had nothing to do with this, and it comes out that he truly had nothing to do with this, is anybody going to pay this poor guy restitution? We're losing all of that money because of these fake statements.
No, of course not. Of course not. What's he going to do? Turn around and sue somebody who's probably hasn't got a pot to piss in, or
good night,
Ann.
Ann. Oh, Ann left. Well, I didn't know. Yeah, go ahead. Pot to piss in. What?
Yeah, what's he going to do? Sue somebody who probably doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of?
Well, he's going after the lawyer. He didn't say he was going after the victim. He said he was going to go after the lawyer. Let's finish this up.
You look at it on its face. It's a 24-year-old complaint. Very significantly, he was not named in the lawsuit in the first instance when it was filed. The girl was allegedly 13 at the time it happened. And in the complaint, it says that she had been given something and she was quote unquote woozy. And so I think that this just needs to be looked at in kind of a measured way.
And feeling good, the media right? And well, I'm not going to say nothing.
Some people in the media, Pete Hegseth being one of them, where they automatically hear an allegation and they run with it. I think that this needs to be treated in a measured type of way. We don't need knee-jerk societal reactions. Anybody can make allegations against somebody, and people who are rich and famous are particularly targets. And so obviously I don't know what happened, but I think it just needs to play out, and we need to give him the benefit of the doubt at this point.
Well, that's what Tony Busby is saying. And so this federal lawsuit was originally filed in October. So interesting that we're only learning about this now. And then Tony Busby responded to Jay-Z's statement by writing this on X. Since I sent the letter on her behalf, meaning the defendant, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but he has tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff. We will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the facts in court, not in the media. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York declined to comment on whether the office is pursuing this case. So what happens next?
Now, why wouldn't they tell him something simple
I mean, we don't know if.
Why wouldn't they tell him something simple like that? Were they going to take the case or do the case? Or you know what I mean, B? Why? What's the fucking problem there?
I have no
right. Yeah.
The
he's getting tired.
Are going to be looking into this. They may well be at this point. I think that there are people further looking into Diddy. I think there might be a superseding indictment coming, and probably looking into the people that he's associated with himself. But this also may well
So here's how this is going to play out. So, I mean, I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure it might play out to where there's going to be more names added to this. Something more is going to come up from this. You know what I'm saying? It might not necessarily be about this, but I think this is going to create some kind of domino effect. Wouldn't you say? Maybe.
You think this might wind up somehow or another
Finishing.
getting linked with
Listen, they
what's his
couldn't
name's
get
island?
Epstein, right? They couldn't get Epstein,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. You
Now
think
get the black guy.
this might connect into Epstein's island?
Right. Yeah. So, but with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to Tuesday, December 10th, right here on the FFN Network. The way we see it, with yours truly, Blazeman and my boy B. I'd like to thank you all very much for tuning into the show. Don't forget to catch Politicking with Mr. B tomorrow, 7 p.m., 7:15 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we run a little bit late. Right here on the FFN Network and on that platform that you are watching us right now, ladies and gentlemen, 7 p.m. tomorrow, Politicking with Mr. B. B, what do you got in store for the
We're
people?
going to continue on delving more into this CEO murder situation. We're going to see what else we can come up with, because every time I turn around, every door I knock on, something else opens up and you see something you don't expect. So
I got you. So tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the FFN Network, Politicking with Mr. B, 7 p.m. We'll catch you all tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love, brothers and sisters. Ba, ba, ba.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
You have just watched an FFN Network production.